Namaskar.
Namaskar.
May I have the permission of Honorable the Chief Justice to declare the function as open, sir?
Yes, please.
The function is declared as open. Good morning to all the honorable dignitaries and participants of today's function. This is an important day in the history of Odisha judiciary, as 15 numbers of paperless courts in phase 3 and 4 newly established fast-track special courts are going to be inaugurated in the gracious hands of our own Honorable the Chief Justice Dr. S. Muralidhar, in presence of Honorable Sri Justice Subhasis Talapatra, the Chief Justice Designate and Chairperson AI and IT Committee, and the administrative judges of the respective justices and the companion judges of the court through video conference. It's my pleasure to welcome Honorable the Chief Justice Dr. S. Muralidhar, who has envisioned the concept of paperless courts and has been relentlessly pursuing it since last 1.5 years, not only for the High Court but also for the district courts. We welcome you, sir. We are fortunate to have the gracious presence of Honorable Justice Subhasis Talapatra, the Chief Justice Designate and Chairperson, AI and IT Committee, who has dedicatedly planned the e-initiatives and has ably led the committee to achieve the vision of the Honorable Chief Justice. We welcome you, Lordship. We also welcome the Honorable Judges of this court who have joined us physically and virtually. We heartily welcome all the Lordships. We also welcome the district judges, the presiding officers of the FTSC courts and paperless courts, and other judicial officers present online. I further welcome the government officials, the CEO OCAG, officers of the OCAG, President, Secretary, and members of the bar associations of the respective justices, and our friends in the media, ladies and gentlemen. May I now request Honorable the Chief Justice to inaugurate the 4 newly established fast-track courts, that is FTSC 2 Bhubaneswar, FTSC 2 Cuttack, FTSC 2 Jaspur, FTSC Puri, and the 50 paperless courts in phase 3 in the Justice of Khordha, Balesur, Sambalpur, Balangir, Baud, Devagad, and Gajpati. My lord, please.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Thank you, my lord. May I now request Satyaprakash Rai Chaudhary, the CPC of this court, to kindly present the video presentation of the newly inaugurated 50 paperless courts in phase 3. Satyaprakash, please.
An innovative concept of paperless courts has been envisioned in the High Court of Orissa to address various issues such as requirement of manpower, storage space, and congestion, risk of misplacing and retrieving documents. In a conventional court scenario, the judicial case records are brought to the court from the different sections of the court, and judge presiding over the court hears the arguments of the advocates based on the physical records available. The concept of paperless court emphasizes on the usage of electronic paper in the court hall and focuses on minimizing the movement of case records, which needlessly consume time and manpower. The process itself is a precursor to the e-filing process. In a paperless court, the entire case record is available to a judge in a portable device, making it convenient to access the relevant part of the record without browsing through the entire file, thereby saving time and making the workflow more efficient. It also reduces work pressure on court staff from organizing the record chronologically. The process of digitization involves sending of case records as per cause list, scanning of case records, quality check of scanned pages, metadata entry, bookmarking of scanned pages under different heads for easy access, and finally, the integration of the scanned records with the cause list. Owing to manifold advantages of the system of paperless court, such as elimination of paper consumption, higher speed of data flow amongst various decisions-making levels, increased transparency and reduced chance of error, etc., High courts as well as district courts working mode are being gradually shifted to digital environment with a view to lessening the adverse impact on environment. The paperless court was first implemented in the court of the Chief Justice Dr. S. Muralidhar and Dr. Justice S.K. Panigrahi on the 11th of September 2021. Till date it has been implemented in 13 benches of the High Court of Orissa. On the 17th of September 2022, Justice U.U. Lalit, the then CJI, had inaugurated 34 paperless courts across all 30 districts of Orissa. At present, more than 50%, 13 benches, of the total strength of judges of the court are functioning in paperless mode with scope for extension to all the benches of the High Court. 50 more paperless courts were inaugurated on the 3rd of July, which includes all 24 courts of the Ganjam District Court Complex, and the other 26 were inaugurated in 24 other districts, taking the total number of paperless courts in the state so far to 84. In the Wacom touchscreen laptops, the judges can use the note feature where they don't need pen or paper to make notes. Rather, one can use notes for future reference on the Wacom to make quick notes in their busy hearing. The judges can also highlight and underline paragraphs for marking out the important portions in the case. All the importance phrases are marked with just a tab on the screen. The judges in the paperless courts can also add comments. Observation during a session can be put in form of comments so that it can be used for future guidance. The judges can also use the stamp so as to mark out important documents or to admit or reject the evidence submitted. The judges can also use the zoom in, zoom out to read text clearly, which is not possible in a physical records. The High Court of Orissa is also in the process of developing software through which not only the courts but entire administrative side of courts will become paperless in near future.
Thank you, Satya, for such an informative and educative presentation. May I now kindly request Honorable Dr. Justice B.R. Sodangi, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and Administrative Judge of Khurda and Puri Joseph to kindly address the gathering. My Lord, please.
My Lord, Honorable Justice S. Mulidhar, the Chief Justice of Orissa High Court, my esteemed Honorable Justice TALAPATRA, the Chief Justice Designate, and my dear sister and brother judges present in the hall and also those that are watching in the virtual mode. Apart from the same, the grand district judges, those are in the virtual mode. Really, indeed, a good day for us because now we have added one more feather to our cap to having 50 paperless court in entire state. The motto of the Chief Justice is that one has to be well equipped in technology, that we are moving ahead day by day, and today by adding 50 paperless court in all entire state, it has given much benefit to all those courts those are in the kind of affairs of technological development. Apart from the same, now there are 4 fast-track courts in open for the dealing with the POCSO matters. But the purpose of opening this POCSO court is to expedite the hearing of the matter, so that exclusively this should be done by an exclusive court who has been well trained, who have been considered to be the best judicial officers in the past, and they had to labor hard to dispose the matter, because the purpose of establishing this court is to dispose the matter as quickly as possible. If you not dispose of the matter within the specified time, the purpose will be frustrated. Therefore, I may request all these presiders of the fast track courts to take care of the issue and also do the best thing for the state, so that the POCSO courts, the aim and objective of the establishment POCSO court will be satisfied. Now, I request all of the presiding officers, those are dealing with the paperless court, they must be well equipped so that at least the litigant public should not face any difficulties, and technological advancement should be given benefit to the litigants, not for us only. Therefore, the only exercise you have to do that you have to see that how best the relief can be granted to the litigant public by using the technology, so that our purpose can be achieved. With these words, I conclude giving this opportunity to say something about the opening of the course. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship, for being always inspirational and motivating. May I now request Honorable Justice Subhasis Talpatra to kindly address the gathering.
Dr. Justice MURALIDHAR, the Chief Justice of Orissa High Court, Dr. B.R. Sarangi, my esteemed colleague, and the brother and sister judges who are participating either offline or online, the district judges of the concerned districts, members of the bar, and the other officers who are participating in this inaugural program of 4 fast-track courts and 50 paperless courts. That is a continuum that we are doing, the opening paperless courts, but so far the 4 special courts are concerned. This idea came up in the Chief Justice and Chief Minister's Conference to give the speedy justice to the victim of the under the POCSO Act and the rape victims, That was the idea of opening up the fast track courts. And on review, the Ministry of Justice has found that the purpose is not fulfilled because the time of trial as consumed is equal to what was the ordinary course does. Here we have to make a change. Otherwise, the establishing of these fast track courts will be useless and will prove our inefficiency only, nothing else. So I would request the judges to take special care, that take care to go by the statute, the time limit provided by the High Court should be strictly and religiously followed. So the 4 courts are now coming up, one in Bhubaneswar, one in Cuttack, one in Jajpur, and another in Puri. So I would request these presiding judges of this court, from the day one, they should take care of these things, and they have to look into the old files, how the matters can be expedited. If these are done, actually that will be the great service to the persons who are seeking for justice, and those are the victim of the completely nature of crime is society totally disapproves. And the second of the 50 paperless court. It is a process in continuum. In future also you have to go far away and also go steadily, converting our courts into a paperless court so the processor become faster and convenient to handle the papers in the court. The certain challenges are there. You all know those who are holding the paperless court, but the challenges are to be identified, challenges are to be addressed, and we'll go forward with this trial and error methods because something is very new in our experience, and so we have to be very bold. We will not give in to the problems. We have to overcome the problems, and that should be the spirit. Thank you all for participating in this program. Thank you all, particularly Justice Muralidhar, who is not amongst us, is a far away place, but still he is in our heart. Thank you, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Lordship, for such gracious and encouraging words, and you will be our guiding factor, sir. May I now humbly request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to kindly give the inaugural address. My lord, please.
Thank you, Mr. Patra. Pranam. Vande Utkala Janani. My esteemed colleagues, Justice Talapatra, Justice Sarangi, Justice D. Dash, and I can see all my colleagues. Justice Arindam Sinha, I think, is online. Justice Panigrahi, Justice Savitri Ratho, Justice M.S. Sahu, Justice Patnaik, Justice Aditya Mahapatra, Justice Narsingh, Justice Chitranjan Das, Justice M.S. Raman, Justice Gauri Shankar Satpathy, Justice B.P. Satpathy, and any other judges who may be online participating in this function. My dear district judges who are present with the judicial officers, particularly in the judgeships of Cuttack, Puri, Khurda, and Jajpur. The presiding officers of the new 4 fast-track courts, Srimati Sabita Das in Cuttack, Shri Ramnath Panda in Puri, Shri Durgacharan Mishra in Khurda, and Shri Vijay Kumar Jena in Jajpur. The presidents and secretaries of all the bar associations of the different judgeships who are now participating online in this important function, the district magistrates and collectors, as well as SPs of the various districts who are all participating online. I can already see a large number of participants online for this very important function. We started, as you saw in the video, and I'm going to talk first of the paperless courts. That is very close to my heart. So we started on this journey of paperless courts in the High Court in September 2021. Justice Panigrahi was the first, and of course my bench, we became paperless. But after that, even in the High Court, now we have 12 paperless courts, where Orissa took the lead, because Orissa was definitely not the first High Court to have paperless courts. It was the Delhi High Court. But where Orissa took the lead as far as paperless courts is in the districts. I'm not sure if there is any other state that has not come to my notice, at least, where so many courts in the district courts are paperless. So as was pointed out in the video, we started with 34 courts. Then we had, in July, 50 more courts added to it. Today, the accurate figure, the CPC, Satyaprakash tells me, would be 50 plus 7. 7 courts are paperless. Of course, they don't have presiding officers. It also is a very important fact which you probably noticed in the video, the entire Ganjam headquarters district court complex, every court is paperless. Today, with the inauguration of these 50 paperless courts, every court in Khurda, in the headquarters in Bhubaneswar, would be paperless. This is very important for us to note, because whenever the new court complex in Bhubaneswar gets readied, and we are hoping that it will be very soon, hopefully by the end of the year or early next year, every court in that new court complex in Bhubaneswar would be paperless. So in every true sense of the word, we would have a state-of-the-art modern court complex in Bhubaneswar. But we're not talking just of Bhubaneswar. Today, across 13 districts, we have paperless courts. This number is going to be increased. Many people across the country want to know how this is possible for us to do. If you recollect, when we started the process of digitization of records, we in fact started with the 4 district court digitization centers in April of 2021 itself, and then formally inaugurated our record room digitization center in the High Court in September 2021. By this time, we had already done a pilot of the digitization exercise in the High Court within the court premises, and then we invited district judges of 4 important districts, Cuttack, Sambalpur, Baleshwar, and Ganjam, to come to the High Court with their respective nodal officers and with the identified agencies. We showed them how the digitization in the High Court is done, and we replicated that process in the districts. So by the time the RRDC started, the 4 district court digitization centers had already started. What we realized is, if you're talking of a paperless court, we must have not only the old records digitized, we must have the current records digitized, which is what led us, after the success of the DCDCs, that is the district court digitization centers, we started the 10 digitization hubs. So today, again, Orissa is perhaps the only state in the country where the old court records as well as current records of all the district courts, not just the High Court, of all the district courts, including outlying stations, are getting digitized. This is possible because of this network of digitization centers that we have. Since we were confident of this exercise, we could move into paperless courts for the districts. So that is how, in the district courts, we're able to read papers online, on the screen. The other important exercise was to make sure that the judicial officer is equipped, not only with the equipment, with the gadget, but also trained. So we distributed in the district judges conference this year in February, brand new laptops, touchscreen laptops, to every one of the judicial officers. The purpose of that was also to ensure that every judicial officer in Orissa, if the judicial officer so desires, can actually go paperless. Today, because of that laptop and because of connectivity, we have 2 parallel lines. We have the BSNL line. We also have the RailTel link. So Orissa is a step ahead as far as connectivity is also concerned. So it is possible for every court in Orissa, if it so desires, to hold hearings in virtual mode. So hearings can be in virtual mode. And with this move of digitizing of records, every court in Orissa, it is possible to go paperless. So we will have scanning machines in the court premises itself. Once the scanning of the old records and the current records is complete, every new paper that comes into the court, if it is not e-filed, will get immediately scanned and fed into the system in digital format. This is what is happening right now in the High Court. So the result of all of this, and somebody made a comment that when we say it's a paperless court, lawyers are still using paper. That is correct. When we say paperless court, we mean from the side of the judges, it is paperless. Judges will not have to handle paper. We do not want to compel lawyers to go paperless without them being ready for it. Whenever the lawyers feel comfortable, and you find across the country, irrespective of age or experience, lawyers are going paperless. People who watched live streaming of proceedings in the Supreme Court would have noticed how very senior lawyers are able to argue using a tablet in paperless mode. Judges in the Supreme Court are able to hear matters in paperless mode. So the change is happening. I am confident that with the continuous training programs that we've been giving, not only to judicial officers in our central academy, judicial academy in Cuttack, and the regional academies in the 5 centers, We are also training the advocates, we're training the law clerks, we're training our own staff. So this training is something that we've been very clear about, that it has to go hand in hand with the opening of paperless courts, with the increased field of digitization, with increased e-filing. So all of this in Orissa is happening simultaneously, which is why we're able to move from strength to strength, increasing the number of paperless courts. This is the kind of blueprint that I'm trying to explain, because I know we have a wider audience and they're all wondering how is it possible in Orissa and why is it not happening elsewhere. It is because I have the complete cooperation of all the judicial officers. I have the complete cooperation of my colleagues in the High Court. I have the complete cooperation of my Registrar General and his team of registrars. Then the very able Central Project Coordinator, Satya Prakash, and his predecessor, Anupam Patra. Orissa High Court has been very fortunate to have judicial master trainers who are very adept. Many of the registrars working in the High Court are themselves master trainers. Many of the senior judges in the districts are master trainers. They have in turn trained their own colleagues in the academies. They've trained lawyers, they've trained law clerks. So it's a continuous process. Orissa is taking full advantage of this wealth of talent that we have, which is why we're able to roll out all these schemes and measures. What I'm trying to emphasize is every such measure that the Orissa High Court takes is a result of teamwork. It's a result of complete dedication by not just one or two persons, but a whole team of persons, which includes the registry officials, the technical staff, and all the judicial officers working in the various districts. You also noticed how there was a line mentioned that on the administrative side, we are going paperless. We, as all of you know, we had the expert agency customized for the Orissa High Court, the Orissa Judicial Workflow Automation System, the OJWAS. That has helped the Chief Justice's office in the High Court to become completely paperless. All the non-judicial branches, like the rules branch, the statistics branch, the audit branch, accounts branch, all these branches in the High Court are today paperless. We are in the process of the judicial branches becoming paperless. Therefore, on the administrative side, the High Court will be completely paperless very soon. Our staff is already getting trained. We're replicating this in the districts, which is what the video mentioned. In the districts, we're going to start introducing OJWAS. Therefore, the staff in the districts who will be trained in the regional academies will learn how to work in a paperless mode. I mentioned some time earlier, once all of this happens, our utilization of space in courts will change. The court atmosphere will look different. It will have more light, more air, more space, free up the mind, not only of lawyers and judges, but perhaps of litigants too. So this is an overall vision that we have for the Orissa judiciary. By the end of the year, if this pace we maintain, by the end of the year, every court in the state of Orissa will become paperless. Very soon, maybe 3-4 months or even 6 months after that, we will have all the functions, both judicial and administrative, conducted in paperless mode. So I want to compliment all those involved in making today's event happen. We've added a huge number of courts. Today, we've completed the task of rendering every court in 2 major districts, Ganjam and Khurda, paperless. And this is no mean achievement. And this will be the inspiration for many judicial officers, not only in Odisha, but elsewhere in India, to ask that they become paperless, to learn from Odisha's example how you can become paperless, how you can get efficient. And all of this, we've been repeatedly stressing, all of this is to only improve access to justice. It is actually a litigant-centric measure. Of course, it eases our work, it eases our way of doing work, but ultimately, if it eases that, it means that we can deal with those cases of litigants waiting in our courts for a large number of years in a better way. And that takes me to the next part, which is the fast-track special courts. As all of you are aware, this is a central government-sponsored scheme. Very recently, the life of this scheme was extended by 3 more years from 2023 to 2026. So by adding to this already growing number of fast-track courts, what Orissa is doing is to reinforce its faith that by having special courts to deal with POCSO offenses, those cases will get the priority they deserve and they can be disposed of efficiently. Both Justice Sarangi and Justice Talapatra have already pointed out how the expectation of these courts is very high. We don't want litigants, particularly victims of crime, to be waiting for justice for too long. We don't want witnesses to disappear. We don't want evidence to disappear. We want to increase the rates of conviction, which are abysmally low under the POCSO Act. Today, the rates of conviction are in single digits. We want to see that improve. We are expecting that these fast-track courts will use the vulnerable witness courtrooms that is there in every one of the districts. They will use the virtual courts that is there in every one of the districts, which will expedite the trial. We want these fast-track court presiding officers because they are district judges who've retired and have agreed to come on to preside over these fast-track courts. Because of their vast experience, they will know how to fast-track a case, which can otherwise get stalled through a variety of measures that lawyers use. I'm sure the lawyers in these fast-track courts will cooperate with the district judges in ensuring expeditious disposal of these trials. It is in that expectation that central government has extended the scheme by 3 more years. And in Odisha, we make a very earnest request to all the presiding officers of the fast-track courts to work in that spirit and deliver the results which the litigant public is very eagerly awaiting. Every event in the Orissa High Court is a moment of joy for all of us in the High Court, because it shows that this Odisha judiciary is dynamic, it's active, it's resurgent, and it believes in the spirit of progress, and it believes in stepping forward to lead the way for the rest of the country. This is a very proud moment for me. With all your cooperation, I can only say I'm absolutely delighted that in these 2.5 years, this High Court, with all your cooperation, has been able to add to the progress, the evolution, and the development of the Indian judiciary as a whole, and in particular, the Odisha judiciary. Thank you once again for all your cooperation. Thank you for your patient listening. Jai Hind, Vande Utkal Janani.
Thank you, Your Lordship. Odisha Judiciary shall remain grateful to Your Lordship for all such initiatives. Thank you, sir. May I now request Suman Kumar Misra, the Registered Judicial of High Court of Orissa, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks to our dignitaries and to seek permission of the chair to declare the function is closed. Suman, please.
Namaskar. In the National Conference on Digitization, E-Initiatives and Paperless Courts held in the month of May this year, we had taken a pledge of making 100 more courts paperless in a span of 3 months, in addition to the 34 paperless courts we already had by that time. On 3rd July, we had set up 50 paperless courts, and today we have added 50 more. With this, we have fulfilled the promise we made before the judicial fraternity of the country. Odisha Judiciary really deserves congratulations for this rare feat. We also congratulate the people of Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, Jajpur and Puri for getting the new fast-track special courts, which are also additions to hundreds of new courts opened in the last 2 years. All these have been possible for the vision and leadership of Honorable Chief Justice Dr. S. Muralidhar. It is because of His Lordship's commitment that Odisha Judiciary has today earned the place of a pioneer in many fields. The legal fraternity of Odisha owe a lot to Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar. Our hearts are full of gratitude for His Lordship. We are grateful to Honorable Justice Subhasis Talapatra, the Chief Justice Designate, the Chairman of IT Committee of the High Court, and the Administrative Judge of Cuttack for the guidance. We are grateful to His Lordship for encouraging us by the valuable words. We are also grateful to Honorable Dr. Justice Vidyut Ranjan Sarangi, Administrative Judge of Khurda and Puri Judgeships, for being physically present with us and inspiring us by his address. We express gratitude to Honorable Justice Arindam Sinha, Honorable Justice Debabrata Das, Honorable Dr. Justice S.K. Panigrahi, Honorable Justice Savitri Ratho, Honorable Justice Muganka Shekhar Sahu, Honorable Justice Radhakrishna Patnaik, Honorable Justice Aditya Kumar Mahapatra, Honorable Justice V. Narsingh, Honorable Justice B.P. Satpathy, Honorable Justice M.S. Raman, Honorable Justice Gauri Shankar Satpathy, and Honorable Justice Chittaranjan Das for attending today's function. Their Lordship's presence has encouraged us. We also express gratitude to the Honorable Judges who could not be present today due to personal difficulties, but their Lordship have expressed and extended their wishes for today's function. We thank the respected district judges and the judicial officers for being with us through virtual mode. We also thank the President's Bar office bearers and members of the Bar Associations for attending this event. We are thankful to Mr. Satyaprakash Rai Chaudhary, the CPC, and his technical team for making today's function possible by their technical support. We thank the court staff and all others who have contributed for today's function. We also thank the media for carrying our messages to the masses. I now seek the permission of Honorable Chief Justice to declare the function closed. The function is declared closed. Namaskar.
There.